Well, good evening, everyone. Hey, it is Shooter. Welcome to Swing Trade Notes. Hey, we're going to try and cover this pretty quickly because I want to get to sleep early tonight. Of course, at the end of the presentation, please review our disclosures. All right, let's jump right into it. Now, I still visualize this market as being bullish. All right, so now, but it's toppy. Let me just clarify that. We don't have a Fed tailwind, even after Powell speaking today and saying July. I don't know if the market's going to like that or not. That's a little far out. So now realize that I've got some technicals, particularly gamma and seasonality, which are telling me we should probably have a top in the SPY around 491 and then roll over till late March is sort of what the thesis is in my mind. So now with that, I'm going to look at the dollar, and that's going to require a little more bullish than this 104 because that's going to have to weigh on indices. So we could push that 106 and we may break out. I mean, we do have some divergence down here and a little bit of a bottoming look there on this A. We're looking at this as a ABC here, but really this could become an ABC and then that become a 5-wave. So, we could have some upside there. All right, then want to take a look at TLT. We've almost given back, it's more than half of the candle that we got from the FOMC, that FOMO there that took out my puts, which I feel robbed. I want them back because I think it's going to roll over. Oh, Lord have mercy. Sometimes you win them, sometimes you don't. All right, so now I'm going to jump off of this for a second. I want to go over to my regular motive wave because they're not going to be in swing trade notes now. I got to move this thing. I don't know why it's on. Don't have my video on. Maybe I have it plugged in. Don't know. Okay, jumping into it. The S&P, and hopefully y'all can see it. Let me do that twice to make sure I clicked it because I have a bad habit of doing that on these videos. Forget to click the screen to the right page. All right, so, we're going to put in this intermediate wave 3, which is right about where we are, 495.55. So we're like $2 over. And then we're going to roll down to this intermediate wave 4 around 475. So this really, I've been talking about this for about 2 weeks. Really, I was up at 505, right, which still would work. All right, if you're in them, they still work. However, I've moved up now. I'm saying 515. Market circumstances have changed a little bit. That's a little more conservative. I want to be conservative. All right. Doesn't mean the 505s are going to fail. If you want to put the heat on there and possibly getting your shares taken away, that's fine. I think the 505s are fine though because of this drawdown. I think that's going to roll over. Now that happens to be in addition to what I'm seeing with other sectors. I think we build out a flat here, and then we roll. So it's going to take a little time. I don't think it'll be quick. With obviously barring swan event of some kind. All right. Now I wanted to look at the NASDAQ separately. So, we're going to put in this 3 here around 466 in the back test. So, we got 2 steps still up. So there's still some euphoria left. We could get a little more FOMO. The candle looks pretty good on last week's close. So, we get above this little top, we could have another little breakout again. So then I'm going to cover the Dow mainly because it's toppy at this, maybe by February 11th is where we should roll back over and head towards that 357. Again, I want to be repetitive here in the thesis because the market condition. This is not something that we're going to typically do in the public domain. We're going to do it in chat, fundamental trends. But when I think the heat's coming into the market, I feel obligated to start screaming a little. I want to make sure you know. You can't come back and say, oh, you never told me. Oh, I just told you. All right. Looking at the weekly on the Russells, looks like we're going to roll over here. It looks like R2 is in, right? So then we should head down towards about 170. All right. Now, let me jump back. Well, actually, let me do Bitcoin. Somebody's going to ask. So the look on Bitcoin for me is bearish. Just totally here. Looking at where our top came in right here, January 29th, and unless we get above that at 43,857.20, it should roll over to this one around 40,000, then get a little bit of a bounce. So that'll be your tell. So it'll break below this trend support, all right. So if you're holding, if you want to take the heat, wait for the back test. What do we always do? Wait for the back test, wait for the back test, wait for the back test, wait for the back test. The number of times that it's wrong is really limited. So, we might as well focus on. Wait for the back test. All right. So let me jump back over to a regular article. Let me do that twice to make sure I did it correctly. Okay. So now this is our victim. We have 3 victims this week. Now, it was very hard for me to find. Matter of fact, I didn't see anything that I really liked, even in my unusual option activity. There's a lot of shorts, but none that I really liked long where they were when I looked at the charts. So this is my best look because of where it is in the count. So the way I look at this is we're on the verge to break up. The likelihood that that breaks down is slim there because we're doing this flag, so the pattern itself. Not only that, where we closed on all of those bars, high side, middle high side, high side, high side, top, okay? So to me, that euphoria is building, all right? And on top of that, we had some seller exhaustion right here on this candle. So if you're not in shop, okay, it's a good spot. Sell some cash here puts, maybe 75s, all right, 78s. Not sure exactly what's there this month. Well, I'm going to shut off my phone, put it on airplane mode so it doesn't ding me to death while I'm doing this. And then if you want to take a shot at some calls, right at the money, I mean, 83s, 84s, 85s, I would do the monthlies. You could still do my weekly scheme. And let me just express that again. Okay, I like a weekly scheme or a monthly scheme. In other words, I want to buy 2 weeks out for my weekly options, right? And then I want to sell them in a week. The monthly scheme is I want to buy 2 months out and then I want to sell them in a month, right? So that's, the 2-month plan is much more expensive as far as price. So the chances of profit in there are about 40% less than on the weeklies. And one reason I say shallow in the strike, it's because, if all we're shooting for is a 15 to 30% gain, these aren't bellwethers. These are not breakout candidates that are just going to blow up to the top. This is steady Eddie, get paid next. Steady Eddie, get paid next. Be right 70% of the time, right? And wrong 30% of the time. And then keep your losses skinny. That's the thought, all right? So let's take a look at the monthly. Now, the longer term upside of this chart is really one of the main reasons why this is here, because this ultimately is a cycle wave. So we had cycle wave 1 and then cycle wave 2. And then we're going to head towards our cycle wave 3, which is way the heck up there from where we are now. We're at 82 bucks. So, that's going to be a number of years. We're talking 4 to 5 years out, but still, it's a good looking chart longer term for a position trader. That's why it's here. All right. Now, Moses, I really don't like cannabis. I hate to tell you that, but sometimes my macro and my micro opinion really aren't relative because honestly, I don't make a living on them. I make a living on Elliott Wave in counts. So let's just stick with that thesis. All right. So let me just double check. I didn't flip off mine. All right. So Moses is just now breaking out. So full position size, first target 1678. All right. Now, want to come out, look at the monthly chart. Beautiful look to the upside too. Now, forgive me, I don't have my larger counts up there, but still, primary wave 1's up 36 bucks. So we get any traction in legalized cannabis on a national level, Moses should do well. And that's, this is now in recovery mode. So, we are going to move to the upside. It's just a matter of how fast it goes and how far, depending on what those conditions. All right, taking a look at BSTZ, BlackRock Science and Tech. Now, we've got a half position trigger here now on BSTZ as far as BlackRock Science Tech. Now, our first intermediate wave is probably right around $23, $22. Then we head up towards our primary one after this whole leg builds out. But, we got a little ways to go to the breakout candle on this. But this was my way of getting a piece of tech sort of in today's look. And part of the reason there is I think we're going to continue down the path of that flight to quality, the moats that I've talked about so much. We've resumed that rotation into the Magnificent Seven. And I think that's going to continue to certain groupings of stock. And this was sort of my way of trying to lead you in that direction, without putting too much risk on some of those shares that are a little too much on the high side. And P.S., I do like Google, but I want to back test on it. So maybe we'll see Google pop out in chat in the middle of the week. But that's basically what we have for this week, folks. Great trading. Until next time.